Time Raiders is a mobile MMORPG, which means that you'll be able to choose a wide variety of classes before you begin your journey. And while the game doesn't have as many choices as others, you have to consider that for each of the 3 starting classes, you also have 2 specializations, which can dramatically change your playstyle depending on which one you choose. However, as the case with any other new game, knowing which class to choose or which one is the best for your playstyle can be quite tricky. So for this reason, in today's video, I'll give you a short introduction for each class and the specializations in Time Raiders, so that you can get an idea of what to choose. It's no surprise that all MMORPGs must have a beefy warrior type that specializes in close-range encounters, and the Blademaster happens to fit this build in Time Raiders. This class is all about melee combat, by jumping in the middle of groups of enemies with powerful sword swings. However, the Blademaster effectiveness in both offensive and defensive varies wildly depending on the specialization that the player chooses, with the Duelist acting as the tank DPS option and the Guardian specializing in defense and support. The Duelist specialization is ideal for single target DPS through the use of powerful bleed effects, and can also reposition itself by using their Tiger Pounce, which let them jump to the target enemy in one quick leap. Meanwhile, the Guardian prioritizes defensive tactics and tanked by using skills that affect enemies in large AoEs, while also boosting his own defenses and boosting retaliatory tactics that damage enemies whenever the player is stuck. And I believe that the Blademaster is the class of choice for beginners and newcomers to Time Raiders, as this class has the highest defenses, allowing you to do a lot of mistakes without any major negative consequences. While the Blademaster focuses on melee combat, the Gunslinger does the opposite, boasting a powerful offering for dealing damage to enemies and assisting allies from the relative safety of long distances. The Gunslinger, true to his name, revolves around gunning enemies from afar with skills that deals a lot of damage in succession. As such, they are mainly DPS options when it comes to the role with a group setting. However, depending on their specialization, the Gunslinger might also act more as a support DPS class, though they will always inevitably gravitate towards dealing damage. A lot of damage. The first Gunslinger specialization is the Sharpshooter, a powerful class that can deal insane damage to single targets, making them the class of choice for taking down bosses or other tough enemies. Moreover, the Sharpshooter also has a very handy defensive skill that lets them evade attacks for a short duration, making them quite hard to kill when used correctly. Nevertheless, they are quite fragile, so utmost care is necessary in playing with this class. And the second specialization is the Technologist, which uses a variety of gadgets and tools to supplement the Gunslinger vast arsenal. This specialization uses their tools to both damage and cripple enemies, making them great alternatives for weakening the enemies and keeping them under control. And due to their fragile defenses, Gunslingers are recommended for more advanced players, at least compared to the Blademaster. However, with a bit of practice, you'll be able to launch highly damaged attacks to your enemies. As the case with spellcaster classes in this sort of games, the Sage specializes in dealing heavy damage in an AoE setting, which makes them the ideal class for clearing out hordes of weaker enemies with ease. These capabilities also come alongside some CC and debuff effects, which can weaken the enemy further and make them vulnerable to further damage. And there's not much to say about the Sage, as both of their specializations are quite similar. And that's because they both can deal a lot of damage in AoE, while also weakening and controlling the enemies. Nevertheless, this class, just like the Gunslinger, can be quite fragile, so care and attention are necessary for staying alive while obliterating the enemies with a wide variety of spells and incantations. So, as I mentioned before, we strongly recommend the Blademaster if you are new to the game, since this class can be very easy to play. And later on, you can try the Gunslinger or the Sage, once you get used to the rhythm of the battle and how the combat system works. And of course, if you want to get the best experience this game has to offer, you definitely want to play Time Raiders on the PC with BlueStacks. As a rep player, give you the best graphics and performance on your large computer monitor, and it's loaded with a ton of useful tools and features to enhance your gameplay. But anyway, that's it for today's video, thank you very much for watching, and bye bye.